Gluten is part of most grains except brown rice, quinoa, millet, and buckwheat. And what does the gluten do inside your body? Destroys the little fingers, the villi, where the nutrition is passing through into your blood. Here's a picture of the small intestine. It's 22 feet curled up around our belly. When we cut it across, it's not a flat surface, but it's a corrugated surface. And each one of these curls has all these little fingers. These little fingers are called villi, and this villi has microscopic holes throughout. And through these microscopic holes is where the nutrients are passing through in your blood. So if you chew your food completely until it's liquefied in your mouth before you swallow it, when it reaches the small intestine, at this point, from liquid transforms into gas. As gas passes, is absorbed by the blood, and the blood travels in tiny, tiny tubes called capillaries, much, much thinner than your hair. The blood travels everywhere in your body to deliver that nutritional gases to every one of the 75 trillion cells. Your blood travels in these tiny tubes over 100,000 miles, like 5 times around the planet, to deliver that nutrient to every one of your 75 trillion cells. It's quite a machine, okay? So you need to chew your food before you swallow, otherwise you will not get no nutritional value if you don't chew the food until it's liquefied. Well, the gluten destroys these little fingers. But you have a lot of little fingers, and you can destroy some today, some tomorrow, some next year, and the less nutrients are passing through into your blood, you declare a deficiency that will trigger some kind of disease. They say if you cut each one of these little fingers and you put it flat on a surface, you can cover the surface of a tennis court. That's how many little fingers passing nutrition that you have. When you stand in reverence of the wonderful machine that you've been given, it's much easier to stay in a healthy diet or to eat the right foods even when you don't like it. So gluten destroys these fingers. But some people are allergic to gluten, and one little bit and then they end up in a hospital. Most everybody is not like that, but doesn't mean the gluten is doing you good. Now, it's difficult to make people understand this because the number one source of gluten is wheat. And wheat has been the food of our ancestors for generations and generations. So all of a sudden now is not a good food. Well, the answer to that question is, it's not the same wheat. Everybody talks about genetically modified corn and genetically modified soy, and nobody talks about genetically modified wheat. And it was the first one to be modified. They modify it, so now we can grow wheat in Alaska, in the mountains of Peru, in the valleys, in the desert, in the forest. We can grow wheat anywhere, and nobody will be hungry. That was the theory behind, and it was unanimously accepted without being tested first. But after a little time, they begin to discover children born with all kinds of deformities, men that don't have the sperm count to create another child, women that cannot conceive, allergies. Since the introduction of GMO food, allergies have raised 365%. So when that began to happen in Europe, they put a stop. Okay? You can only grow or sell genetically modified food with a big stamp that it says that. So people have a choice to eat it or not to eat it. In America, we do not have that. The FDA and the government does not believe that we have any problem with genetically modified food. So it's up to you. My idea is research it and then you do what's right for you. I personally don't eat any soy, any corn, and any wheat because those three are the most genetically modified food in America. But even when you're eating vegetables, if the vegetables are not organic, they are fertilized with genetically modified soy. So to some degree, you're still getting the effect of the genetically modified. We don't really know the true effect. It'll take some time to discover what really is happening to us. But one research I'm going to mention with rats. 3 generations of rats eating genetically modified soy. By the 3rd generation, rats did not reproduce themselves. So I'm a little scary about that, okay? I'll let you know, investigate, and then decide what's right for you.